Here's our first segment. What is a worldview? Have you heard of this man, David Attenborough? Because this year, being Charles Darwin's 200th anniversary, have you noticed the BBC is treating Charles Darwin as if he's St. Charles this year? And David Attenborough had a big series on this year, and he commenced it on the BBC by opening a Bible to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, which of course says that God said, "Let us make man in our image." And he read the whole verse. And then he proceeded to try and demolish the teaching of Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, because David Attenborough's worldview is that we are really monkeys' uncles, correct? We are ape-like creatures that have grown bigger brains, lost our hair, and some of you lost a lot more hair than others, and we've turned into people who stand upright and come to conferences like this. The interesting thing is, it's been a fascinating year. The Queen got into the Daily Telegraph the other day. There's an article here, it says, "Ban on gay weddings at Queen Mother's Scottish home." And she's insisting, the Queen, that basically at that castle there'll only be Christian marriages. By the way, Christian marriages are based on a particular view of man. In the beginning, God did what? Created. And God said, "Let us make man in our." So it's obvious that the Queen and David Attenborough may not see eye to eye on everything, and it's to do with their world view. Well, there's my view of Shrewsbury Abbey. That's quite a pretty picture, isn't it? I took that one from the car park, standing on the edge, just hoping I wouldn't be run down by one of the cars that was driving past. Shrewsbury, that's the town where Charles Darwin was born. And it's been his 200th birthday, so for his birthday present, we gave him that. Darwin really is on the rocks. That's a documentary, and of course it reflects a creation-based view of the world. Because isn't Darwin famous for his book, The Origin of Species, which, became the best statement of what a non-creation-based worldview is? That's David Attenborough's position. I presented the first major talk this year in Shrewsbury Abbey. Pretty good crowd. Did you know Darwin was training to be an Anglican clergyman? Shrewsbury Abbey, big Anglican building put up by the Normans, 1066 and all that. And I'll be honest, in February, in that building, I froze to death. And as I looked around, I noticed one interesting thing. There were no fireplaces built into that Abbey construction. And then it occurred to me, when the Normans began building these things, England was a lot warmer. So don't be surprised that your worldview covers even issues like climate change. There's no coincidence that most people pushing humans are the cause of the changing world climate happen to be evolutionists. There seems to be a connection between their worldview and what they think about how much authority you have over things like climate. Of course, the Bible says in the beginning, who created the climate? God did. I wonder what your worldview about climate is. It's been interesting to watch the press this year. The Guardian on the 1st of February reported that half of Britons reject evolution. Well, that was an eye-opener. And the Telegraph expanded on it. 1 in 3 believe God created the world within the past 10,000 years. Of course, that didn't make people like Professor Richard Dawkins happy. He said this only proves much of the British population is pig ignorant about science. By the way, there's